You're about to see the horrifying moment a 19-month-old toddler falls from a moving car right into a busy intersection. As a black SUV makes a left turn, the front passenger door suddenly swings wide open. A small child tumbles out onto the asphalt, landing directly in the path of oncoming traffic. The car right behind is forced to slam on its brakes, stopping just inches from the little one. In this video, we'll break down the shocking footage, uncover the timeline of events that led to the mother's arrest for felony child abuse, and look at the critical safety failures that allowed this nightmare to happen. On the morning of January 20th, 2026, drivers at the intersection of North Ulstead Street and West Malvern Avenue in Fullerton, California, saw something they'll never forget. It was a scene that would soon horrify millions online, a parent's absolute worst fear, captured on dash cam. The video is tough to get through, but it's now a critical piece of evidence in a case that brings up serious questions about parental responsibility and the split-second decision that can change lives forever. The woman behind the wheel was 35-year-old Jacqueline Hernandez of La Habra, the child's mother. What happened in the moments and days after her 19-month-old fell from her moving vehicle is a story about everyday people speaking up, a police investigation, and the slow, steady process of the justice system. We're going to walk through this case step by step from the viral video that kicked off the investigation to where the mother stands legally today. We'll also break down the child safety measures that should have prevented this, turning a shocking story into a vital lesson for any parent or guardian who gets behind the wheel with a child. Let's really look at the footage that started it all. The video, which was released by the Fullerton Police Department, is from the perspective of a driver waiting at a red light. You see a black SUV in the left turn lane. As the light turns green and the SUV starts to turn, the unbelievable happens. The front passenger door, which looked like it was closed, suddenly flies open. The force of the turn throws the small child out of the vehicle. The 19-month-old lands hard on the pavement, shockingly close to the SUV's own back wheels. For one terrifying second, the child is just laying motionless in the middle of the intersection. The driver with the dash cam reacts instantly, hitting the brakes hard. Their car stops with its front bumper just feet away from the toddler, preventing what would have been a second, likely fatal impact. The black SUV also screeches to a halt, stuck awkwardly in the middle of its turn. And then, the driver's door of the SUV flies open. A woman later identified as Jacqueline Hernandez runs frantically from the driver's side. She doesn't hesitate. She scoops the child up from the pavement, holds them, and runs right back to the driver's seat. Without seeming to check the child over or wait for help, she gets back in the SUV and just drives away, leaving the other drivers at the intersection completely stunned. Incredibly, even after witnessing something so shocking, no one at the scene called 911 or reported it to the police right away. The whole heart-stopping event was over in less than 30 seconds.
Was the moment a 19-month-old baby falls out of a moving vehicle and onto the road in a busy intersection in Fullerton. That child's mother has been arrested and is facing charges of child abuse.
The child was rushed to the hospital but is expected to be okay. Jillian Smuckler is live in Fullerton with more on what happened. Jillian?
Hi, Sharon, Micah. Yeah, just hard to watch all around. It happened in this intersection behind me. That moment caught on camera, and now millions of people have seen that video online. Of course, as you just mentioned, that child falling out of a moving SUV. And nearly a week after it happened, the child's mother is now in custody. The video is hard to watch. You can see a black SUV making a turn Tuesday morning when the front passenger door suddenly swings open. A toddler can be seen tumbling out of the vehicle onto the asphalt and landing right in the middle of the intersection. The SUV then stops abruptly, forcing the driver behind it to slam on the brakes, coming to a stop just inches from the child. Moments later, a woman rushes from the driver's seat, scoops up the child, places them back in the SUV, and drives away.
It's criminal. Obviously, the child doesn't look to be in car seat or any safety measure taken when transporting a child that's necessary to get anybody from point A to point B.
Police later identified the woman as 35-year-old Jacqueline Hernandez of La Habra and says she's the child's mother. They say the toddler suffered injuries consistent with the fall and was taken to the hospital, but is expected to be okay.
I'm unaware of where the child is or who they're with.
Despite the dramatic scene, police say they didn't receive any 911 calls when it happened. Local mom who ended up showing that video to police.
I'm a mom of 4, so seeing that baby fall out of the car, my heart stopped for the baby, especially because I work across the street from there and cars are always speeding and not paying attention.
She's demanding answers and accountability as she tries to process how a child could fall from a moving car.
I was absolutely shocked that no one said, hey, let me call the police and let them know what just happened. Even if, let's say, she had gotten away, even with just like a license plate to give to the police.
But days later, a witness who saw what happened firsthand came forward. That tip led investigators to a residence in La Habra where police say they located the woman, the SUV, and the child seen in that video. And that woman you just heard from, she actually works at this animal hospital, which is really right across from the intersection where it happened. You heard her talk about how she always sees cars speeding here, driving recklessly. Well, we just saw there is a camera showing a different angle of the intersection. So she tells us she's been asked to talk to police tomorrow, hand over some of that video. So they're hoping this helps with the investigation. But again,
For 4 days, the incident was just a memory for the few people who saw it happen. But that all changed when the dash cam footage was posted online. It spread like wildfire, racking up millions of views and sparking a wave of outrage and concern across the internet. It was this viral video that finally brought the incident to the attention of the Fullerton Police Department. On January 24th, 4 days after the fall, a key witness came forward. This person had seen the event in person and was able to give police critical details about the SUV involved. This was the break investigators were waiting for. With this new lead, officers from the Fullerton Police Department's Sensitive Crimes Unit launched their investigation. They traced the black SUV to a home in the nearby city of La Habra. On January 25th, officers showed up at the house. There they found the vehicle from the video, the 19-month-old child, and the driver, Jacqueline Hernandez. When they checked on the child, officers saw injuries that were consistent with a fall from a moving car. The toddler was immediately taken to a local hospital for evaluation and treatment. With the child, mother, and vehicle all identified, the investigation picked up speed. Jacqueline Hernandez, 35, was arrested and booked at the Fullerton City Jail. She was charged with felony child abuse, a serious accusation that reflects just how much danger the child was in. So what does felony child abuse actually mean? Under California Penal Code Section 2738, it's a crime to willfully put a child in a situation of unjustifiable pain, suffering, or danger. An injury doesn't even have to happen. Just putting a child in a dangerous situation can be enough to press charges. This particular charge is what's known as a wobbler, which means the prosecutor gets to decide whether to file it as a misdemeanor or a more serious felony. Given that the child was put at risk of great bodily harm or even death, and falling into a busy intersection certainly qualifies. It's typically prosecuted as a felony. A conviction for felony child endangerment in California can lead to a prison sentence of up to 6 years plus heavy fines. As of late January 2026, the Orange County District Attorney's Office said that formal charges hadn't been filed against Hernandez yet. She has reportedly bailed out of jail and doesn't have an immediate court date scheduled. The investigation is still ongoing, and police have asked for any other witnesses to come forward. The most important question in all of this, of course, is about the 19-month-old child. In an incredible stroke of luck, authorities reported that while the toddler was injured from the fall, they were treated at a hospital and are expected to make a full recovery. It's a miraculous outcome for a situation that could have been so much worse. This whole incident is a terrifying and gut-wrenching reminder of how fragile life is and the enormous responsibility that comes with driving a child anywhere. This wasn't some freak accident. It was a completely preventable event that happened because of a cascade of safety failures. First, let's talk about car seats. A 19-month-old child should never ever be in the front seat of a car. Both the American Academy of Pediatrics and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says toddlers should stay in a rear-facing car seat for as long as possible in the back seat. The fact that this child fell from the front passenger door shows a complete breakdown in following the most basic critical car seat safety rules. Second, there's the door itself. How does a car door just fly open during a turn? While it's remotely possible there was a mechanical failure, it's far more likely that the door simply wasn't latched properly. Child safety locks, which are standard on the rear doors of modern cars, are designed to stop kids from opening doors from the inside, but they aren't usually on front doors. If the door wasn't shut all the way, the force of the turn could have been enough to swing it open. This is why it's so important for every driver to double check that all doors are securely closed before putting the car in gear. This incident wasn't an accident in the sense of being some unavoidable twist of fate. It was the direct result of a child not being in a proper car seat and a door not being secured. It's a harsh illustration of why these safety rules exist and the devastating consequences of ignoring them. The Fullerton Police Department is still actively investigating this case and has asked for any other witnesses to come forward. If you have any information about what happened on January 20th at the intersection of North Ulcid and West Malvern, you're urged to contact Detective H. Rios of the Fullerton Police Department's Sensitive Crimes Unit at 714-738-6782. And as we've talked about, this story is a powerful, if frightening, safety reminder. Before your next drive, just take 30 seconds. Check your child's car seat. Make sure it's installed right and the harness is snug and it's the right seat for your child's age and size. And check that your doors are closed. It's a tiny investment of time that can prevent unimaginable loss. What are y'all's thoughts on this? What do y'all think is the appropriate response in a case like this? Share your perspective respectfully in the comments below. And if you found this breakdown helpful, please consider liking and subscribing for more in-depth looks and stories shaping our world. The case of Jacqueline Hernandez and her 19-month-old child is both complex and deeply unsettling. It's a story that exists at the intersection of shocking negligence and unbelievable luck. Luck that the child survived the fall. Luck that the driver behind them stopped in time. But we can't ever rely on luck to protect our children. The video remains a stark testament to a moment of extreme danger, a moment that will likely follow this family forever. While the legal process moves forward for the mother, the most lasting impact of this story will hopefully be its role as a brutal, unforgettable lesson in child safety. The image of that small child falling onto the pavement is something no one should ever have to witness. Because a witness decided to get involved, and because of the power of social media, police were able to investigate and ensure the child was safe. It's a reminder that we all have a part to play in protecting the most vulnerable people around us.